some screaming heavy metal! We rock!
But the evil that men do lives on.
We gonna bang your head!
You are now listening to the Music Mania podcast, a hard-hitting show featuring all things hard rock and heavy metal. And now here are your hosts, the Twins of Chaos, Clint Switzer and Paul Lagana.
And it is great to be back in studio here at the Music Mania podcast with my co-host who's returning after a bit of a sabbatical, Paul Lagana, back in here at the palatial Music Mania podcast studios for a big show. And it's fitting that you're back for this one here for Jack Russell, man.
Can't wait, my man. Can't wait to talk to Jack and Clint. Let me tell you, I am back and better than ever. It's always great to be back at the Music Mania podcast.
Absolutely. And Jack Russell returning after he was on a few months ago, and we're going to be talking to him this time about his new album, He Saw It Coming, which has been out about a month now, getting really good reviews. I think Jack put together a really good album here. The last time we had him on, he was talking about the recording process and he was writing, and the fact that it's come to fruition and Jack's enjoying the success and going out and doing some tour dates with Jack Russell's Great White. I'm very proud. I'm just proud of him. He's a good guy. Every time we've talked to him, he's a friend of the shows.
He's in a great place right now.
I think so. I think that's important for Jack. Yeah.
Professionally and personally, I think, the guy has been through so much over the course of, 30 plus years.
Yeah.
And he's in a good place now.
Well, Paul, it's just great to be here and great to be talking music with you. Great to be talking to Jack Russell with you, because the last 3 weeks, man, has just been a whirlwind for the Music Mania podcast. Of course, 3 of the greatest guitarists in rock in 3 straight weeks. When you talk about John Five from Rob Zombie's band, and then we had Michael Schenker joining us from London a couple weeks ago, and then Steve Stevens last week. And so to wrap that up now with the great rock vocalist in Jack Russell, it's great to see that, and it's great. And everyone go check out the album. It's on Spotify. The album is called He Saw It Coming, and go to jackrussellsgreatwhite.com to check out all the tour dates and to see other ways you can get the album. Because now there's so many ways you can listen to it on just YouTube, and I watch the videos, and it's...
And as Jack Russell's new song, Sign of the Times, says, you can get it basically any way you need to now.
That's right. He made a video for that song. That's one of the videos, and that's good stuff. So, it's important, and I think that Jack has been such a good guy, and it's because of people like Jack that this podcast was able to grow to what it is. When we started this thing, it was all about just trying to get together, talking about music, talking about our favorite era of music for the 80s rock scene, and similar genres to that, the offshoots of that. But when it came down to it, people like Jack gave us a chance. They came on the show when we didn't really have a reputation, and now all this time later, and we're just able to do interviews with some of our favorite musicians. I mean, it's just a dream come true, and because of people like Jack, and I want to be able to tell him that.
And again, I just want to say that I think he is in a great place now, both personally and professionally, and the guy, he brings it every time, both on stage nowadays and in the interviews. So,
and the voice is still there. That's important too.
No doubt.
The voice is still there, because so many guys his age and around that time they just don't have the voice anymore. I mean, you know who they are. Paul Stanley from Kiss, David Lee Roth. A lot of guys around that age definitely struggling. Those guys are a little older than Jack is, but just the fact that he's still out there, still making it happen under his banner, under his Jack Russell's Great White name. Hey, that's great. And you know what? When it comes down to it, if the Great White that's touring right now is playing down the street, and Jack Russell's Great White's playing down the street somewhere else, I'm going to go see Jack Russell every time. That's just how I feel. I know Mark Kendall's a great guitar player, and I know that there's a lot of talent in that band, but I want to hear the voice. When I think of those old Great White songs, his voice is so...
Well, we've
integral
talked
to
about
that
it before, where basically, the front men, you identify with them. I think that's just the way it is, more than any other band member, I think. So you're right. In this case, Jack Russell. If I had to choose, I would probably do the Jack Russell's Great White.
Well, without further ado, we want to go ahead and bring you to our Jack Russell interview, which we recorded just a little bit ago, and hope you enjoy it. And be sure to leave us all your feedback. Subscribe on iTunes, YouTube, musicmaniapodcast.com, as always, is the website. So hope to see you there, and enjoy our interview with Mr. Jack Russell. We're doing great, man. This is the last time we talked to you. You were writing songs for this new album out on your boat, and just a few months ago, and now here it's come out, man. How cool is that?
Yeah, it's really cool, man.
Well, it is. It's
Really
great.
cool. I'm very excited.
What's the reception been like? Because I've been listening to this, since we got the interview notched with you again to bring you back on. And welcome back to the Music Mania podcast, by the way, Jack. What's the reception been like? I love this album. I think it's a true return to form. What's the reception been like, and what have you been hearing?
Nothing but good things. There was one review that was done by this clearly Slipknot Slayer guy, and he was, I laughed. I mean, everybody's got their opinion, of course, but this guy was so over the top, It was either he hated the music or the other band paid him.
Well, you can't win them all, Jack, as I'm sure you've learned over the years.
No, it was funny, though. It's like, I started getting into the groove of She Saw It Coming, and then this rap part comes in, and I hated it. I hate rap, and blah, blah, blah. I used to hate rap, too, but that part just came up. It's like the whole song's a rap song. But the only songs you liked were like two songs, the harder edge ones, Everything else is, too whippy, and the last song reminds me of being in a 50s malt shop. And I go, well, that's the idea, you idiot.
Nothing wrong with the 50s malt shop, my goodness, but I'll tell you what, the song that stands out to me, and I'll tell you my favorite song on the album right now, it's Blame It on the Night. I don't know how much you've heard about that. I love that song.
Yeah, people like that song. That was one of the first songs he wrote. That was actually written about my wife's childhood. I mean, that was her growing up. She was molested by her father, and she was beaten and mentally abused and physically abused and spiritually abused. I mean, any kind of abuse you can think of. She had it done to her, and it was horrible. And she's just traumatized for it. I see so much of it every day. I called her dad on it one time, and I just let him have it.
Wow.
Well, I never did that. I'm like, you know what? I don't even want to hear that.
Well,
It's that kind of the song. We wrote this song just to make awareness.
Yeah.
That stuff happens, and it could be happening to your neighbors. Your neighbors' kids. It could be happening to yourself. And the thing is everybody needs to speak out. We're going to find a charity. We're looking for a charity right now that we really think is doing a good job, and we're going to look into supporting them through some of the songs, And
yeah.
Because it's so important, and then for me it's so close to home,
Yeah.
It's tragic.
Oh, it absolutely is. And I think that this whole album, as I go through it and listen to some of the songs, it seems like, you talked about that one, being about your wife. A lot of them seem like it came from some of your experiences, especially here, in the last, 10, 15 years, just kind of where you're at as a person. It seems like I got a lot of that from the album. Is that?
Well, yeah. Every record that I've ever done has basically been a snapshot of where I'm at emotionally or where I'm at in my life at that time. I don't write about fantasy. I don't write about things I don't know about. The only time I've ever broken and done something like that, I believe is, and I could be wrong, but I believe is Spy versus Spy, That song's clearly, I'm not a spy,
Yeah.
If I was, I'd be like, well, if I was, I couldn't tell you, so,
True.
I just got to say that, I'm not a spy, so.
You can tell us, but then you'd have to kill us.
Yeah, right. But anyway, that was, I remember that Mad Magazine cartoon?
Sure.
The Mad Magazine? Okay, well, there was a skit in that. And it was called, if you remember, it was called Spy versus Spy. And
yes.
They had this little black spy versus, not like, it was, they look like they're all dressed in hoods,
That's right.
And they used to try to kill each other in these really Rube Goldberg-esque ways,
Yes.
And it was funny. I used to love that cartoon. I was thinking, I've been watching all these spy movies lately, And the most recent one I saw was Melissa McCarthy.
I love her.
Have you seen that in Spy?
Yes. She's the best, man.
That was so funny. And Jason Stratham, the guy. Oh
Yes.
my God! I was getting on fire, and I took two. Just all these stories. It was just a great movie. I really, that was one of those first movies I actually gut laughed in a long, long time. So if you haven't seen that movie, you got to see it. But anyway, this album is really diverse. But you're right; it is very much about my life. The things I've been through, which is, the format for most of my albums. I mean, I like to write about what I've been through, because the reasoning being is what I've been through, you've been through, your listeners have been through, everybody's been through. It's not like nobody's ever had a broken heart but me,
Absolutely.
I mean, it's not like everybody's having addiction. I mean, people that haven't even done drugs or alcohol, I guarantee they've had addictions.
No
you
doubt.
got addictions to training, to working out. You got addictions to eating. You got addictions to not eating. You got, you got addicted to TV, video games,
Drugs.
sports,
Porn?
There's all kinds of addictions, and some are really bad. Anything I think you overindulge in is bad for you.
So talk about Sign of the Times, Jack, because that happens to be my favorite song on that album. I think,
Great video, too.
Yeah, and you I think you hit the nail on the head when you said that, basically you write about where you've been and where you are now, because that song to me just absolutely encompasses all that you've been through, I think.
You know what? That song and the song that most sticks out to me, and I'll get back to your question in a second. I'm not trying to avoid it.
Sure.
But you just said something that struck a chord with me. The title track is actually the story of my life. And I'll explain it to you in a minute if you want. But Sign of the Times, that was a song that we had written. And the song was all structured out, and I had the melodies. I just couldn't think of a chorus. I'm like, what am I going to sing here? I had, I had the whole thing done. All this stuff. I couldn't, for the life of me, think of the words. I came up with some stuff like, oh God, I'm trying to think of what it was. It was so stupid, I can't remember it. Anyway, regardless, I had a lot of different ideas for it. None of them were really working. And one day I was sitting at a airport, and there was like 100 people around, and all sitting there. And I looked around, and I swear to God, there was not one person that I looked at that didn't have some kind of cell phone or so here I am at the airport, right? I'm with that band, and we're sitting in this one area. We're sitting at the gate waiting for the plane to board. I'm looking around, and I notice everybody has a gadget in their hands. Everyone.
Right.
Except me. Because I just don't, I hate texting. I just loathe it. I feel like, what, you don't want to hear my voice? Are you afraid you might get in a 10-minute conversation with me? And waste 10 minutes of your day when you could have just said, hey, Jack, how are you? Oh, that's real personal.
Yeah.
You might just send me a postcard, with just signed.
Yeah, well, it is the sign of the times. You're right. That is the sign of the times.
Yeah, it is, and the thing is we've become so obsessed with these electronic gadgets that that's all we do. You're going to see a bunch of hunchback people in the next couple of years.
With carpal tunnel, with all carpal tunnel wrist guards.
Yeah, exactly, because they're always staring down at their gadget. And so anyway, to make a long story short, I'm looking around, there's all these people. I mean, even people across, there was a couple. The seats, sometimes they face together. I mean, they face each other.
Yeah, the exit.
So I'm sitting there, and there was a couple dead ahead of me, and they were texting. At first, I didn't really pay any attention, and then I noticed that they seemed to be texting each other, and so I started paying attention to them, and They were. I'm like, these guys are obviously a couple, and they're rather than having a conversation, they're texting each other. I'm going, oh my God, has it really gotten that bad? People don't even want to talk to each other. You know, I mean, whatever happened to them? It's like conversation is a lost art. You know, I mean, I've never told my wife, God, I got no friends. She goes, what do you mean? She goes, nobody. I go, nobody ever calls me anymore. She goes, Jack, every time they do, you just don't answer the phone, and you text them back, sorry, busy, call you later. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing it too, you know? So I started I started taking time now to call my friends at least once a week, and you know, and some guys I talk to every day, like Robbie Lochner, but, you know, there are certain people that, you know, that are my dear friends, and, you know, I need to talk to them so they know that, and, you know, I can't just keep blowing people off. It's just not cool. You're going to lose your friends that way.
Well, You talked about Robbie last time. Last time we had you on, you talked about Robbie Lochner. You called him the best guitarist you've ever worked with. I mean, what's this band is just on fire right now, Jack. Robbie's great. The other guys you brought in, it seems going really well.
Yeah, you know, it really is. I mean, I'm happy. I mean, I'm thinking it's going to go well. I don't want to have any expectations, because you never know, especially in this business. But it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You know, I mean, it's funny. I watched the charts. Somebody was telling me to check the charts out the other day. It was actually an attorney, of all people, and he said, you know, blah, 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 you're number 30-something on the charts. I go, I didn't know that. He goes, you don't even tell me you didn't know that? I go, that's what I'm telling you. I find it hard to believe. Like, go find any way you want, you know?
Sure.
It's like I don't bother to look at all that, because these days it's not like it used to be. We got on the charts, took a lot to get on the charts. And when you're on, you stayed on for a while. You didn't just go on at number 33 and then drop off, you know, in 2 weeks, and then come back on again. It's these little spurges of selling records, and you know, it's hard for a classic band, a vintage band, old age rockers on walkers band.
That's one way to put it.
to you know. And it's sad. They're following loads of music, but they're almost afraid to get into the new stuff. It's like, man, I make a record for a reason. I don't make it just because I feel like making a record. Of course, I would if I had to. But, you know, we make it to put some music out there for people to get into. And this record is chock full of hits. You know, I use the expression, but it really is. It's a great album. It's a great, great, great record. And I'm really proud of it. And, you know, I hope it does a lot, you know.
Well,
but you never know.
Well,
that's the thing. You know, if this would have came out in the 80s, it would have been a sure thing. 1989, it would have been huge.
Right. And to me, it does kind of have that little bit of an 80s tinge to it. So
well, I mean, I think it would have been big, because it wasn't what everybody else was doing. It was, you know, still has the rock appeal, but it's got, you know, from what I consider to be really good hooks and really pertinent lyrics, you know, and well thought out arrangements and a great production. You know, I mean, that's my take on it. You know, everybody else thinks, I don't think it's, you know, everybody's got their own opinion, and that's mine. You know, I love the record. I'm very proud of it. I hope it does well. I hope people get to enjoy the music as much as I enjoy making it. And matter of fact, you know, I listen to it. I love it. I love listening to the album. If it was somebody else's album, I'd buy it.
Yeah.
I'd buy records.
That's a good endorsement right there.
So, Jack, earlier you were talking about, obviously, you know, speaking with, you know, friends on the telephone, texting, whatever. I know you're real good friends with Don Dokken, so I just kind of wanted your take on when they, you know, when they got back together and that whole deal, and what was your take on that?
You know, I know what it was about. I mean, I wouldn't have turned down that money either. That was a lot of money. I'm not going to disclose the amount. It's nobody's business. But it was a lot of money. I probably would have toured with the devil for that kind of money. And trust me, the way Don feels about George, I think he was feeling the same thing, you know. But and vice versa. You know, they've always had a very tumultuous, let's say, relationship. Sure. You know, and they're both very talented people. You know, Don is an amazing songwriter. You know, great singer, great guy. He's been there for me. He's one of those pieces in my life that, if we look at him like a chessboard, you know, he's definitely been, you know, a bishop, a knight. I don't want to go there and say queen, you know.
Well, yes, that's.
But you know, he's been there, and he's always been integral in my life, and he's a dear friend, and I'll always do whatever I can for him, and he's always done whatever he could for me. If I ask him for a favor, he's right there, you know. And if he asks me for something, I'm right there too. You know, Don is one of my dearest friends. I mean, I can't say that about a lot of musicians. You know, you think of what you think. I mean, Don is Don. You know Don. Mm-hmm. So you know he can be a total, you know, jerk sometimes, but that's Don. You know, and if you don't like him, you know, if you can't see the good in him, well, then you don't deserve his friendship anyway.
Yeah.
You know, he's a really good guy, and you know, he's the kind of guy that will do anything for you.
Yeah, and you know, and I think Jack, more than ever, this past year has taught me a lot, because I spent New Year's Eve at Motley Crue's last concert in L.A., Jack. I saw Twisted Sister's last show in South Dakota. I saw Black Sabbath's farewell tour, and this last year, Jack, we've lost so much. Lemmy Kilmister passes away. David Bowie passes away. I mean, Rush has retired from active touring. It's a sign that, you know, these heroes, you know, you guys aren't going to be around forever, and that just kind of hurts my heart a little bit, to be honest, Jack. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know.
You guys aren't going to be around forever. That's scary.
It's scary to see your heroes dying and getting old. And I mean, like Steven Tyler. I mean, you know, that guy's in great shape for his age. But I mean, let's face it. I mean, he's 13 years older than I am. I'm 56.
Right.
You know,
that's crazy.
I am 60 sometimes. You know. I mean, it's just because of the stress. I mean, I've been under some of the stress lately. I can't even tell you, and nobody wants to hear about it anyway. You know, but. You know, everybody's got stress in their life, and it really kicks your butt. You know, so I'm trying to live a little more stress-free life. I'm trying to get into yoga and things like that. That's gonna, you know, loosen me up, because you know, I've got degenerative disc disease, and I've shrunk 4.5 inches. It's so funny, just in my back.
Wow.
You know, I used to look eye to eye to. I'm looking up at them now. I'm like, wait a minute. They used to be there. So, you know, we all have our problems, and your mine aren't as bad as somebody else's, you know, but it's all relative, too, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, you know, somebody's got a bed worse than you. Yeah, okay, that's fine, but I'm still 4.5 inches shorter.
Right.
It doesn't make me feel any better that so-and-so's thicker than me, you know?
Well,
I feel bad for them, but it doesn't make me feel any taller, you know?
Well, yeah, it's half the battle. I mean, but you look and you sound as good as you ever have. I think that's something that's lost. You see so many bands, and
Thank you.
A singer. It's really, I mean, as you get older, your vocal cords they're not the same. I mean, you see what Paul Stanley struggled with. You see a lot of guys. You sound just as good as you did in the '80s, Jack. I mean, what's the secret? Tell Paul Stanley what he could do.
Well, yeah, you know, I just warm up consistently. I've had this routine I've started using since 1982. And I warm up 6 hours a day. I warm up six times before the show. I start 6 hours before the show. I mean, I don't warm up solidly all 6 hours. I warm up, you know, for 10 minutes in the shower, you know, really lightly, and then I'll warm up really lightly, an hour and a half minutes in there, and an hour and a half minutes in there. I warm up a little. I start to put some notes behind the voice, you know.
Yeah.
And then I keep doing that at certain times. And the last one I do a half an hour before the show, and it's 20 minutes long. And after that one's done, I'm ready to go on stage. You know, and then I warm down after the show.
Well,
I mean, that's the thing. You know, I don't drink. You know, I don't smoke. I don't do the things that do, and my life has been so much better for it.
That's great.
I just can't. The last time I drank, I was in a coma for 5 days, and the doctor told me basically you're going to die if you do this again. Not might, not maybe, not should, not could, but you will die.
Wow.
And your wife has told me the way you drink and your liver is not going to take one more of those.
That's
So I said,
unbelievable.
okay, well, that's pretty black and white. Black and white I can deal with. When you leave me a gray area, I'm like, okay, is there a crack in the door? I'm out of there.
Incredible ultimatum there.
Yeah, that's quite an ultimatum. Well,
Yeah.
and you talk about warming up, you talk about all of these things, and Jack, we're just so proud of you, proud of this release. We're so happy for Jack Russell's Great White. And by the way, guys, the website's jackrussellsgreatwhite.com. That is the Great White that we support. Jack, we have had you on our show before. We will continue to do so. And you got some dates coming up. In fact, heck, on Friday night, you're going to be in Effingham, Illinois, man. This thing's starting up on Friday night. How about that?
Yeah, we're getting going. We're getting started up here. We're hoping to get a lot more shows, before then. But it's going to be a good year. I have a feeling.
Well, yeah, you got some big festivals. You got Rockfest. You got the Rock the Arena, too. Looks really cool with Cheap Trick and a bunch of, Warrant, Tom Kiefer, Lou Graham. That's going to be a big one. Rock the Arena, too, in Toledo coming up in March.
Yeah, and I love Lou. He's a really dear friend of mine.
Yeah.
And it's good to see him coming back into health because, that prednisone stuff, it's really bad for you.
Yes.
I hate what his band did to him. I know the feeling. But, it's like at his worst moment, they dumped him on his ear. I don't know all the politics behind it, but I'm sure it's very similar to my own, only different story, But, at least that guy kind of sounds like him,
Yeah, Kelly Hansen does a good job.
At least he sings the songs like Lou sang them,
Well, that band's incredible because
take all these liberties with them,
yeah, none of the original members are even part of that band right now, which is incredible to me.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I got to see, my old manager told me one time, and I used to laugh in his face, he'd say, I could take 5 monkeys and put them on stage and use the Great White brand name. I'd still make money. I'm like, there's no way. There's no way this band could survive without me and Kendall. There's no way.
Yes.
And he's totally proven me wrong.
Yeah.
I thought that Terry, I'm thinking, oh, yeah, right. People are going to go see that.
Sure.
And they did. And they do.
Yep.
Hey, they're going to go see a Dio hologram.
What you hear on the radio. It's not even close, and I just don't get it.
If people will go see a Dio hologram, Jack, they'll go see anything. I think at this point we can.
Yeah. That's how starved we are for music, I guess.
Well, that is true. I agree with that 100%. Well, Jack, I know you've got so much coming up. You've done so many interviews, so many great. We got a review up on our website. All positives. No, we're not the Slayer dudes that hate rap and hate the '50s malt shop that gave you the bad review. It's not us.
Not here.
We gave you a good one. We love the album, Jack.
Not here, Jack.
Thank you very much. I gotta say it really is my favorite album.
That's great.
When you speak of the mall shop thing, Godspeed, I think, is one of the most beautiful songs I've had a chance to be a part of.
Yes.
When my guitar player said he wanted to turn it into an a cappella song, I about fell out of my chair. I go, you know what? You trusted me on a lot of ideas you didn't like at first, and then you turned around and said, that's great. It's one of your favorite songs on the record. So I go, you know what? I'll trust you this time.
Yep.
And he came back about a month later, and he goes, I finished that song. I go, what song? He goes, the acapella song. I go, you're kidding me. He goes, no. He goes, you want to hear it? I go, what do you think? So he puts it on, and I start laughing, just gut laughing. And he's getting this look on his face like I ran over his kid's bike,
Yes.
And he goes, well, what's the matter? I go, are you kidding me? Nothing's the matter. This is one of the greatest things I've ever heard. However did you do this?
See?
I listened to all the intricacies, the harmonies going back into oohs and ahs and back into the following the vocal line. It's It's impeccably done. It must have took him hours and hours and hours to come up with the notes. I mean, he's a total musical genius. I'm so lucky to have that guy on my team. I mean, this band would not even be close to what it is without him.
Well, congratulations on all the success. I tell you what, we're in Kansas City. We've had you on our show a couple times now, Jack. There's only one way to do this. We got to come out and see you. We got to meet up in person because we're so thankful for all you've done. For this thing started on a whim just a few years ago. We want to interview some of our favorite artists. This has gone so well because of people like you. We've been able to interview some of the greats. You're one of them. We can't thank you enough. So let's catch up on the road, man. I know you've got a long road to hoe this spring and hopefully summer. We got to catch you out here, man. Let's make it happen, and just congratulations on everything.
Let's do that for sure. I love the town. You know, it's a hoot. So
yes,
yeah, let's stay in touch, man. You got my number.
I do. Yeah, no, I won't. We won't do it.
Hesitate to call me and just
yes.
Shoot the shoot the poop.
Well, shoot the poop as they shoot you. We'll shoot the shit. I'll tell you, we won't do our next interview over text. We will not do that.
No.
I promise you.
No texting.
just for you.
And good luck on that tour, buddy.
Yes.
Hey, thank you, my brother. I really appreciate you guys.
Hey,
thanks for having me on.
Thanks a lot, Jack. We appreciate it.
Thanks for taking the time.
You bet. Thank you.
Guys.
Clint, we can't thank Jack Russell enough for that interview. I mean, what a guy. As I said, both personally and professionally, he's in a great place right now.
I think you can tell that just in the way he comes off, and he's always been, a guy that you can. He's down to earth. Like, he'll talk to you like you're a person. He doesn't talk down to people. And I know he's been through a lot. And I know he's had moments where maybe he's been perceived as another way. But every time we've dealt with him, it's been he's been classy, first class all the way, and we can't thank him enough for that. And
he's one of those guys where I think, if we would have let him, obviously he would have basically gone on for an hour and a half. Which, to me, that's the sign of a guy who actually gets it, who is as personal as they come, and he just wants to talk. He wants to talk about his life, wants to talk about his music, and I respect the hell out of that, man. I'm
with you. That's a good point. And he likes to talk about music in general. We talked to him about his friend Don Dokken and the goings on. Last time we had him on, we were talking about, I think, the Guns N' Roses reunion. He has opinions about that. It's great to have that. It's great to know, and I think he just appreciates people that are trying to support him in any way. And I know it's a long road, music, especially in the rock business. It's a hell of a road. It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll, as AC/DC said.
Right, especially nowadays, man. He's got to do what he's got to do, and he's sounding great and looking great, and everything's going really well. And I'm proud of him, man.
Well, Paul, it was great to have you in here, and we've got so many more to come. So much more excitement, especially as the weather starts to come. The sun is starting to come out, guys, which means it's time to get outside, grab your favorite cold beverage, and there's going to be a lot of big shows this spring and summer. We hope to see you at a lot of them. Still trying to iron out some of our plans because not everything's been announced yet, but trying to get down to Rocklahoma again this year. We got our media credentials pending for that. You never know; it's a roll of the dice whether those will get okayed or not. So hopefully they do.
A lot of great shows coming up this spring and summer. So everybody again needs to get out, go see a show, man. To me, there's nothing like it.
Nothing like live music.
Yeah, you could listen to CDs, watch videos, whatever, but it's nothing like going to a show, seeing your favorite band members, seeing your favorite singer performing live.
I'm with you, and with that, we want to thank you for joining us. Catch us next week, of course, and be sure to subscribe on iTunes and on YouTube. We have our show available on both mediums. Thinking about experimenting with some videos coming up, doing some maybe more video formatted, because you want to see Paul and I, our shining faces when we do this. You don't want to just hear, because we have faces for television. Believe me, these are not just good voices.
Faces for radio, actually.
Oh, no. I hope if that's the case, we better stay right here. No, guys, thank you so much. Subscribe. Hit us up on our website.
Facebook and Twitter as well, guys.
We want the feedback. Thank you guys so much for joining us here on the Music Mania Podcast. Take it easy. We will catch you on the flippity floppity.
Later.